people? Are you excited to see this man? Yeah, I am very excited. My name is Mohit. I'm the brand manager for Mapex India, and we have a man right here with us who is one of the biggest drummers in the metal scene, and I'm a big fan of his. I'm sure you guys are as well, and we're gonna have a good, cool conversation asking about a lot of things that you'll have fun with. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chris Adler. Woo!
Hello.
Okay.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah. How have you been, Chris? All good?
Good. A lot of travel, so you get a little tired and jet lag, but otherwise good. The shows are good, playing well, so yeah, it's fun.
Nice, nice. So 2 shows down with Megadeth. How has that been?
Well, no, actually now we're on show 8 or 9, I think.
Okay.
So we started Quebec City several months ago, and we've just finished all of Australia, and then over to here to India. We started in Shillong, Bangalore 2 nights ago, and then tonight in Mumbai.
What do you expect out of Mumbai?
It's my first time here, so I'm really excited about it. We've done, Lamb of God has done 2 shows in Bangalore, so I knew what that was about. Shillong was very special, and Mumbai, I was out late last night, taking in kind of the local scene, and it seems like a really exciting city, so tonight should be great.
I'm sure Mumbai will not disappoint.
No? Okay, good.
Alright, so how has your association been with Megadeth, keeping Lamb of God in mind, and what's your setup like with Megadeth?
So it's been a challenge, because now the Megadeth record is about to come out in January, and everything is starting to gear up for Megadeth, and Dave would like me to be in the band. Of course, Lamb of God is kind of my band.
Yeah,
well,
exactly,
it's all of our bands. We're partners in that. So the album is out. It's doing very well. We've got plenty of work. Tour the world, probably a couple times. So it's going to be difficult to juggle, but I'm going to try very hard to do both. Yeah, I feel very lucky to have the opportunity to be with both bands. So it's kind of like having the best of both worlds.
What's your drum kit setup like?
Yeah, in Megadeth. So in Lamb of God, it's a little bit smaller and faster. So I would have the 12-inch signature snare, 10, 12, 16, 18. Okay. Here with Megadeth, it's 14-inch snare with it is 13, 14, 16, 18.
A lot of numbers there.
Yeah, and much bigger cymbals. Kick drum's the same, 22s on both kits.
Okay.
But Megadeth doesn't really require kind of the splash cymbals and the high toms. It's more just kind of big rock show.
Nice, yeah. nice. Okay, so your signature snare, since we're talking, about that, it's got a signature sound in Lamb of God. How has that sound, maybe evolved, if any, for Megadeth, or kind of merged with their sound and taken it to the next level?
Yes, well, right away that was funny, because the first thing when Dave called me to come and do the record with him, I came in with my normal Lamb of God set with the snare drum, and we started playing a couple songs, and within maybe a song and a half, he's like, "Listen, you're playing great, but that snare drum does not fit." And so we went and actually used the Mapex Wraith, the Matt Halpern drum, on the Megadeth record, which fit in much better to that kind of sound. So, but the drum itself, I've been using it in Lamb of God forever, and it started actually when I got my first drum kit with the piccolo. So I've always liked that kind of high pitch cut through sound instead of that big 14-inch, big deep, like Twisted Sister kind of snare drum. It was never my thing. So I always liked bands like, even Police and 311 and that kind of sound. I wanted every part of my drum kit, I wanted it to have a unique voice instead of just kind of being whatever you've heard all over and over again. And when I found out when I did the 12-inch drum, I didn't even know it because I don't spend a lot of time listening to gospel, but apparently 12-inch is a typical kind of gospel drum as well.
Yeah.
And so the drum's actually doing very well in the gospel circle.
Nice, nice. So you've played the Saturn, which is one of the signature lines of Mapex, and now they've evolved out of a bigger line, the Black Panther. Like they had 14 snares. It was, everybody wants that specific sound, whether it's wood or steel. And Mapex has now, designed the whole kit around a couple of Black Panther lines, like the blaster that you have it. How do you feel, playing the Saturn and the Black Panther, and your thoughts to that?
Yeah, Saturn is by far the best sounding drum kit I've ever played from any company. When the first time I played it, actually, the first drum kit that I played from Mapex there was a line called the Deep Forest line for a minute. It was all walnut. And then they discontinued that. And I loved that kit. I thought it sounded absolutely amazing. But they weren't selling very well because it only came in a natural finish. So people like colors and sparkles and all that kind of stuff. But I love that kind of natural look. So when we moved on from that, the only other series of drums that Mapex had at the time that contained walnut was Saturn. And so I went with that, and I still absolutely swear by it. There's not a better sounding drum kit out there. So it's great. The snare drum, fits my sound very well. Some people don't like it, but for me it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean, if it works for you, it works.
That's it.
That's how it is. Walnut has been that that wood that Mapex plays a lot around with, whether it's plaster or satin. So that's your kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the walnut has always been very quick and very dark. So even if I'm playing like a 12-inch tom, a small tom, I can still tune it down really kind of low. It almost sounds like a 14, but I'm still able to fit more into the drum kit. It's still faster than it would having a mounted 14. I love that.
Okay, so a lot of budding drummers are watching this interview. You are a role model to many.
Not a good idea.
Your suggestions to them as budding drummers, upcoming drummers, maybe some experience that you want to share, practice-wise, touring-wise, gear-wise.
I think the difference. People. I meet a lot of people every day, and people ask for autographs and stuff like that. And really, there's nothing special. I'm no different, than anybody else. The difference between me and the people that I meet most of the time is just the amount of time that I've spent practicing the drums. So yes, it is going to be a lot of practice, and I think the thing that the people that get to, successful level in the music industry, whatever that means, the people that are able to keep doing it are the people that are able to practice and work through, because playing drums is not easy. I didn't wake up and know how to play drums.
Exactly.
There's a lot of frustrations, a lot of difficult, kind of feels like you're smashing your head against a brick wall for years, And I think, but the people that make it are the people that love doing it so much that they are able to keep working through that instead of giving up, So at the same time, I've also found that, obviously you have to love it to get through those kind of frustrations. But a lot of people get stuck on, if they're working on a particular thing, like if I want to do my double bass faster, they're only thinking about that, and they get stuck in this kind of rabbit hole of, they're handcuffed to the problem. They're not worrying, they're not thinking about all the cool stuff that they're doing with their hands. Now they're staring at their feet, they're working on their feet all day long, and I think a lot of times when you pay attention to only one part of what you're doing, it actually gets worse. So just kind of embrace the things that you do well. Obviously spend time on things that are challenging for you, but don't only focus on that, because it'll get worse and worse and worse, and it'll probably end up making you quit. So
make a note of that,
that's it. And advice for drummers and bands traveling. Number one, don't eat sushi before you get on a plane. And number two, your sound guy is the most important member of your band.
Exactly, so that you sound like a beast on stage.
Because you can have a fantastic show, play every note absolutely perfect, but if the sound guy is out there with, smoking weed and hanging out with girls, and nobody knew that you played anything.
It's not sound enough.
Right.
Okay, how has Evans, been the change on that signature snare of yours?
Yes, switched over to Evans heads recently. I was having, with the previous company that I was using, well, actually what happened was, we played a tour in Australia, Lamb of God did, and the heads that I was supposed to have got stuck in customs. So the local representative came out with all Evans heads. And, it sounded great on the kit. I loved the way that it felt. And then after the show, after like 3 shows in a row with these heads, the sound guy came to me and he said, "Did you change something about the drum heads? Because they sound way better than they ever have. And I've been mixing the band for 10 years, a decade. And your drum kit sounds the best it's ever sounded." And
which ones do you use?
The EC2s.
EC2s? EC2s on the snare?
Yep.
That's like a combination that works for you.
Yeah, it works. It works well. So he was, he didn't know that I had changed it up, and that's obviously, like I said, the sound guy is so important. So if he's telling me that I'm sounding better with these heads, and I also feel like these sound great and play well, let's make a switch.
That stick that you have, the signature stick in Proma.
Yep.
How is your idea for that stick? How did you go about designing that, or how did that part come into play?
Yeah.
So you're playing.
Okay, so because of a lot of the stuff that I'm doing is not blazingly fast, but pretty quick. I wanted to have a light stick, but the 5As, if I played with the 5A, I was it was like breaking them like pencils. So I went up to a 5B and found that was a little too heavy.
You have like a hybrid one, right? 5AB.
It's a 5AB, and what it is, it's kind of in the middle weight-wise. It tapers a little harder towards the tips, so the tips aren't breaking off all the time. And then we used kind of a fast, what is it called, acorn tip on the top of it, which gives a little bit quicker response coming off the tom. So it was the guy at ProMark that I was working with that kind of helped me design it and come up with a good length for kind of where I was at and where I placed things. And so it's not really out of the norm. It's not a totally weirdo kind of stick. So if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. I think you'll probably like it.
Nice. Cheers, Chris. It's a pleasure to sit next to you. I'm sure a lot of guys will envy me sitting here. So it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely.
And good luck for all the shows that you have, and keep coming to India.
Will do.
We'd love to welcome you for a lot of things.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.